Coming to you live from the Convocation Center, once again, we have Vulcans men's basketball here on CUTV and the PSAC network. We have Lock Haven Bald Eagles. They're coming to visit California Vulcans. Of course, welcome into the broadcast. I'm Stephen Ruffing, and alongside of me is Gary Smith. Once again, we were just at the women's game. Now we are in store for the men's game, and we're just going to take a quick look at the tail of the tape between these two teams.
And Steve, this is a California team we've seen all year. Not a problem putting points on the board. It's the other side of the scoreboard that's been the struggle so far. Coming in this game, scoring 83.9 points a game, but giving up 88.0. Lock Haven is no stranger to scoreboard, 76.6, but they're also giving up 75.5. So I think we're going to see a lot of scoring in this game. A number that sticks out to me is on that three-point line. California, a perimeter shooting team, 34% from beyond the arc. Lock Haven, 30% from the arc. And the other one you always look at is rebounding, and Lock Haven actually is out-rebounding Cal by about 2 rebounds a game, 37.2. 35.6. But Steve, this is kind of a game that if you're California, you need to have. It's not a divisional game, but it is a conference game. So California coming into this game 2-6 and tied for 7th in the PSAC West. Top 6 make it into the PSAC tournament. It's never too early, especially when you're in that 7th, 8th, and 9th spot, to start looking at where you need to get to that postseason, because this is a season started off very well for California. Won 5 of their first 7 games, and then been on the dry spell, have not won since December 19th.
Yeah, and you going into that, California, they're coming off a tough loss against Slippery Rock. They visited the Rock last game, and you were there. You were on radio, and you were talking to me before. California, they start so strong, and then there's a little point there where they kind of get down and let the opposing team come back, and that's what happened at Slippery Rock. It's
just, I think, a staple of a team. You know, there's a lot of transfers. You don't want to call them a young team, but they haven't played together that long in different rotations with Luca coming back in. And, you know, out of a 40-minute game, they've played probably 33, 34 great minutes at Slippery Rock. But then there was that 6-minute period that Slippery Rock, you know, made some baskets. California had some bad luck, and they couldn't get over the hump. So, but this is a big game. It's a Monday night game. You got 2 PSAC West games coming up this weekend. So if you can kind of get this one, that sets up a possible good week for the Vulcans.
Isaiah Lewis shot, and that's good. Starting off quick, California, Isaiah Lewis gets the first 2 points of this game off his first shot.
Isaiah Lewis creating his shot, a little step-back jumper, and we saw him do that on Saturday and throughout this season. A great job of creating shots for him.
Hunt now at the foul line. Drops it back to Amir Hinton. Crossover, goes left, goes right, finally goes left, puts a shot up, and that's good. Floats up and drains the jumper for 2.
We'll talk about creating your own shot. Hinton just did the do.
Terry Davis Jr. going up, no good. His shot was blocked. Lock Haven now on the attack. Hinton spins around, puts a shot up, and that's good. A great spin move going to his left and laying up a shot for another 2 points.
And I tell you what, that was a nifty little drop step spin move by Hinton, and that's I think that's a play you're going to have to watch if you're the Vulcans.
Absolutely. Isaiah Lewis drops it over to Cordell Smith. Howls for a jumper, a long 2, that's good. Now we have a quick shootout so far, 4-4.
Like I said, what we said in the earlier, neither of these two teams is a stranger to lighting up the scoreboard, so this could be an NBA type of an afternoon.
3 for Lock Haven, that's good. Boy, action on both sides of the court.
Just a wide open 3, and if, you know, you're a college basketball player, that's one you got to make more often than not.
That 3 was Marquise Jackson for the Bald Eagles. Pass over to Isaiah Lewis, broken up, and now there's going to be a foul on number 22, Amir Hinton.
And Hinton just put a little bit of the hand in the chest of Terry Davis Jr. and Hinton. It's good. It's unfortunate our good friends Danny Beck and Colin Kirkwood are not here. There's some very interesting footwear for the Lock Haven. A couple players out there. Neon, looks like we got neon green and neon pink out there.
Cordell Smith kicks it out to Robo Tekel. Robo Tekel inside, puts a shot up, and no good. Rebounded by Lock Haven. It's actually going to be knocked out of bounds. But they're going to give the ball to Lock Haven.
Tekel's a guy we saw on Saturday and also last Wednesday against Gannon. Really getting the green light to shoot. He's a player, if he can get hot, is capable of getting scorching hot, and he can do it from a variety of spots on the court.
Jihad Barnes drives in, kicks it out, 3, no good. Off the front of the rim, rebounded by Barnes. Jihad Barnes for 3, and no good. In and out.
That was a good look by Barnes.
Cordell Smith fires it over to Terry Davis Jr. Davis for 3, no good. In and out. Lock Havens will rebound that. That's 2 back-to-back shots in and out. A spin move by number 20. Break.
Cordell almost saving that for the Vulcans. That's a player that is going to hustle from whenever they throw the ball out to the time they put it back away at the end of the game. Definitely the team leader for the Vulcans is Cordell Smith. I think the refs are talking about the shot clock. They're going to keep it at 27.
This one's going to be fired out. Taroje Break. Break tosses it over to Hinton. Now Barnes will drive back over to Break. Break at the near corner. He's going to face off Isaiah Lewis. Break drives, jumper, no good. He gets his own rebound, puts a shot up, and that's going to be denied by Jameer Howes. Now Cordell Smith at the near corner, goes inside to Howes, back inside to Lewis. Lewis shot up, no good. Rebounded by Marquise Jackson.
Howes doing a great job making that block and then getting back on offense to take that pass. And unselfish, just unfortunate California couldn't get the deuce, still down by 3.
Amir Hinton, the 3 ball, no good. Cordell Smith gets the rebound, no one around him. Fires it over to Terry Davis Jr.
Steve, this might be one of the games like we saw against Salem early in the year where there was something like 83 pointers attempted between the two teams.
And this ball is going to be stolen by Amir Hinton by himself. Slam dunk. Puts that one home. And you kind of saw that one coming. He got the steal, and he was by himself.
And he is a nice-looking ball player right there. Kind of plays the wing for Lock Haven, can create a shot, has some speed, and also has the ups.
Robo tackle. Goes over to Cordell Smith. Cordell Smith drives in, goes under to Howes. Howes no good. That play is broken up by Marquise Jackson. Now there's going to be a whistle blown. There's going to be a foul called on Cordell Smith. That's going to be his first as we're going to go into the media timeout.
I tell you what, Steve, that's a quick first 4 minutes and 9 seconds. But that's what happens when you got two teams that are going to kind of stick to that perimeter. You know, it's going to minimize the inside foul shots, and it's going to, keep the game flowing. And like I said, California, I think they played well in the first 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes and 9 seconds. They're down 9-4, but they've gotten open looks, and as we said in the women's game, they're going to start falling. Yeah,
silly mistakes kind of gave Lock Haven a couple of their points, and now that we're in a break, we have a chance to look at the PSAC West standings. California, third to last, but that could change very quickly. Mercyhurst above them in 2-5. If they win this game, they can easily sneak their way back into the middle of the pack, just under UPJ, and then that game on Wednesday against UPJ. California, with these two games, they can easily move up a couple spots.
Well, they have UPJ, who's about a game and a half ahead of them, and Seton Hill right behind them there. So you win tonight, you can set up maybe a 3-0 week, and you can climb from a tie for 7th right now, somewhere in that 5th and 6th range. And I think if you're California, that's right now where you kind of want to look. You want to get in the postseason. Like I said, we touched about a little bit at the beginning. We'll look at the East here probably next media timeout. But, they started off strong. A lot of chatter and talk about the way they started, and then just kind of hit a dry spell. And they've been putting the point. It happens during the year. They're putting the points on the board. It's just a little bit on the defensive end. If they can tighten that up a little bit, and it's still early enough that they can put themselves in a nice position, because remember, if you get in the PSAC tournament, there's still a chance to get in the NCAAs if you run the table.
Exactly. Marquise Jackson dribbles, almost loses it, drives, puts a shot up, and that was barely even a shot. There's going to be a charge called. Cordell Smith, that was Robo Tekel, sets his feet. It's going to be foul on Marquise Jackson.
That's a brave move by Robo Tekel. Kind of checking out his neck. He hit the basketball support stand there, but he gets up, but he stayed in there against a pretty big player, and that'll be the second team foul against Lock Haven.
Isaiah Lewis takes control. He faces Barnes. He gets rid of the ball over to Tekel. Jameer Howes back over to Luca. Luca making his way into the game, goes over to Cordell Smith. Isaiah Lewis, jump shot, no good. He's going to be fouled. And he will go to the line for 2.
And that's a shot, and we kind of talked about a little bit in the women's game that there's certain plays that are going to make a head coach just scratch their head, and that's one that the head coach for Lock Haven, that shot was pretty much out of the hands. It wasn't going to go in, and you get the foul call, and still it was late enough to get the continuation. It gives California a chance to get 2 free points. Now 1 free point.
Yep. The first one is missed. Isaiah Lewis has a chance for another point. Isaiah Lewis, his second shot is good. California only down by 4. Jihad Barnes makes his way past the half-court line. And there's going to be a foul called on Cordell Smith. It's going to be Cordell Smith's second.
That's 2 quick ones, and he's going to go to the bench in favor of Terry Javis, and that's going to set him on the bench for probably a good 10 minutes here in the first half, and you don't need to see that if you're Coach McBride, your point guard, your floor general on the bench with foul trouble.
Lock Haven back on the attack. Cerruti, layup, good. That's going to be another 2 for the Eagles.
Cerruti just finding a soft spot in that California defense and gliding through. That's a picturesque layup if ever there was one.
Jameer House thought about shooting, goes over to Teckle. Teckle, that one looked good from my angle, but just off the inside of the rim and out. Lock Haven back on the attack. Reese Hunt, his shot's up and off the backboard, good. Lock Haven has 13.
Big possession from California, Steve. I think you want to stop the bleeding right now if you're Cal.
Bounce pass over to Isaiah Lewis. Isaiah Lewis steps in, Robel Teckle for 3. There it is, good. Now that's points California needed.
And I tell you what, I remember last year talking to Coach McBride on the coaches show, and Robel Teckle had, he had a big game at Gannon last year, then he had a couple dry games, and Coach was like, you want a player like Robel Teckle that's not afraid to keep putting those shots up, because when they go, they're going to go.
McPherson working hard for that ball, almost loses it. A couple shots up, no good. California comes away with it. That's a defensive stand that the Vulcans needed. Isaiah Lewis now at the elbow. Goes over to Teckle. Luca, he's going to drive, stops, picks up the ball, loses it, and Lock Haven is on the attack. Cerruti fires it over to Hinton. Hinton over to Reese Hunt, no good. The ball's picked up by Barnes. Barnes over to Cerruti. Cerruti nails it from the near corner for 3.
California almost got away with that. The loose ball finds its way to a wide open Lock Haven player. Now you're down 8, and California can't afford to let Lock Haven get in double-digit leads here.
Isaiah Lewis kicks it out to Robel Teckle, who was open for 3 but misses it. Those are the points that you cannot risk losing. And there's a dunk from Amir Hinton. Amir Hinton just finds his way smoothly inside, finds himself by himself, and slams it home.
And Coach McBride's going to call timeout, and he's reading his team a little bit of the riot act, because that's one of the things we've seen all year. The defense has been the Achilles heel right now, and he's not afraid to make some changes. And I think you saw Eric Green get up, and he got a couple other players get up. So see what changes they make, because it's just a matter of rotating over. We've seen 3 or 4 wide open layups, and if you just get a body over there, sometimes you're going to get the foul call, but a lot of times the way the referees are going to call it, they're going to let a little bit of contact go, and it's going to affect the shot. Now you're down 10 in a must-win game, I think, if you're California, if you want to stay in the hunt in this for the PSAC playoffs.
But we've seen slow starts before from the Vulcans, and we've seen them come back and win these games, of course, in a thrilling fashion. And you see Eric Green on the court for the Vulcans trying to get a little momentum boost. Terry Davis Jr. drives, shots up, no good, gets his own rebound, another shot, no good. Howes gets the rebound, jump ball.
Good work by Jameer House. So that was a better possession for California. A lot of hustle there. And the one good thing you got to look at if you're a Cal fan right now is it's not as though Lock Haven is a defensive team. They're going to give up points. It's just a matter of, I think if you can kind of ride this storm and slowly chip away, I think California is the type of team that if they get their shots to go, can pull away from this Lock Haven team. because neither team is going to stop the other team a lot.
Yeah, it's all about executing. California, they need to start getting these points. Hitting for two, long two, no good. Eric Green gets his first rebound. Howes on the attack. Drives, shots up, no good. Howes struggling early in this game. Cerruti drives, passes it out, nice look. Shots up, fancy, no good. Howes with the rebound. Howes has Cerruti to beat. Howes taking him on one. Shots up, no good again. He had a couple men open, but decides to take it himself. Gary, what can you see from that play? What's your...
I think he just was in a position where the play was moving too fast for him. Couldn't really stop without probably taking a travel, kind of threw it up. But you got to like the hustle. Last couple times on defense, California, as we talked about in that timeout, even if you just get in the way a little bit and contest those layups, they may not go in. And we've seen 2 stops for California. Now it'd be nice to get this ball to go. Boom, right there, 3.
There it is.
Things can change on a dime. 7-point deficit now.
Right on cue. Isaiah Lewis nails it from beyond the arc.
And Steve, one of the Vulcans went off. I believe it was Terry Davis Jr. limping a little bit. As there's a take, and Robel Tekel came up, and I'm trying to see if they're looking at him. They are looking at Terry Davis on the sideline behind the California bench. So that's something we're going to want to keep an eye on as this game progresses.
And as we go into our second media timeout, this will be a good chance to take a look at the PSAC East standings. Lock Haven in a similar situation that California's in. They're right in the middle of the pack, sitting at that 7th spot. And just like California's situation, they can easily make their way back up in the standings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you got a logjam underneath there in the East, rather. You know, Westchester's having themselves a special season. They have the longest winning streak in the Atlantic region right now at 12 in a row, and 8-0. And I believe they're ranked in the top. I know they're in the top 10. They may be in the top 5 in NCAA Division II. And then Kutztown right there, no slouch. And that's a team that California beat here early in the year. So it just goes to show you, no matter where you're on the standings, any given night. But like I said, Lock Haven, this is just as important game because this could get them back into the mix in the East.
Yeah, so and that's the PSAC for you. You know, it's the story of it is anything can happen, and a game like this is huge for both teams, really.
And this is an old school rivalry game. Lock Haven being in the PSAC West for years. There was a time from the late 80s to about the mid-2000s, California defeated Lock Haven. I believe it was 50-some straight games. So, you know, even though we haven't seen them a lot recently since they moved to the East whenever UPJ and Seton Hill joined the PSAC, you know, these two teams and these two schools are no strangers to one another.
Amir Hinton will go to the line for 2 to expand this Eagles lead. His shots up and no good. Off the back iron and out. California gets the rebound. Isaiah Lewis slowly makes his way up the court. Goes over to Luca. Luca has a slow start coming back from that injury. Lewis jump, no good. Finds Eric Green. Eric Green tries to do a reverse layup, and that's going to be denied. Rebounded by the Eagles.
And that would have, and I think, sorry about that, Steve, I think if that ball goes, you know, that gets the bench involved.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Green, as you know, is one of the fan favorites.
Electrifying.
Yeah.
Isaiah Lewis drives. He's going to draw some contact, and he's going to draw a foul. That one's going to be on Matt Cerruti. It's going to be Cerruti's first. Team's fourth. 11:07 left in the first half. Isaiah Lewis inbounds to Tekel. And back into the hands of Lewis. Tekel bounce pass to Luca. Luca fires it out. Had a man open, but there's going to be a whistle blown.
And that's, you know, it's nice to see Luca back on the court. He missed a good chunk of this season, dinged up, not really exactly sure what the injury was, but he's starting to get back into playing shape, and he's a player that plays as much with his athleticism as with his mind.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a smart ball player as well as a competitive one. Isaiah Lewis drives, loses the ball, and it's going to be out on Lock Haven. Isaiah Lewis, we've seen this in the past. He's a talented player, talented ball player, but sometimes he can get away with not driving, like something we've seen there. Maybe drive and kick that ball out.
Yeah, it's one of those situations we mentioned in the women's game. Sometimes the game just gets too fast for the player, and it's just a matter of getting the reps and getting comfortable that the game starts slowing down. And I think we've yet to see that so far with Isaiah Lewis for times.
Cerruti kicks the ball out over to Hunt. Hunt for long two. Or, I'm sorry, that was Marquise Jackson for two.
Jackson just inside the line, did a good job of getting off that screen, and California unable to close out. Uncontested three.
Isaiah Lewis shots up. That's good for two. Finally, California put some points on the board after quite some time.
We saw the play slow down right there for Isaiah Lewis. Got the pass, didn't force it, took a dribble and set his feet. That's so key when you're coming off those screens, when you're shooting to get the feet set.
Break. Tosses it over to Hunt. Hunt for two. Off. Dances on the rim and finally falls home. Sorry, that was Marquise Jackson.
Yeah, once again, the Lock Haven jerseys, not exactly an announcer's best friend with the gray numbers on the dark maroon jerseys.
I keep seeing the three. That's what mixes me up. A shot is blocked. That's Philip Alexander. His shot was denied. Finally, California stays with it. Luca stops, passes inside, but it's broken up. It's stolen by Amir Hunt. Break, drives in, layup is no good. Almost had an and one, but that ball just falls short.
Number 12, Philip Alexander.
That foul's going to be on number 12, Philip Alexander. That's his first of the night, but he's also only played just about maybe a minute.
I tell you what, he's another player that you got to be excited for the Vulcans. A talented freshman coming in here, and we've seen him get some big minutes, and he's an electrifying player because not only he kind of reminds me of a Luka Andjusic type, where he has the athletic ability. Definitely, probably a little more athletic right now, especially since Luka's dealing with the injuries, but. The game slows down for him. He's not someone that's going to force any passes. He's typically, so far for a freshman, is going to make the right play.
I completely agree. He has a lot of potential to be a fantastic ball player.
We'll see House come back in along with, I believe, Cordell Smith.
Yep, Cordell Smith. Break, second shot is good.
Need a basket here if you're California. You're down 13 right now inside of 10 minutes. You got to get this to single digits and low single digits going into the halftime break, especially at home.
Philip Alexander, bounce pass, and to Jameer House. Jameer House fires it to Tackle for three. No good. Rebounded by Lock Haven. Just off the front of the rim. And into the hands of the Eagles. Troje break. Tosses it over to Barnes. Barnes slaps the hand of his opponent away. Cordell Smith intercepts it. He's going to be blocked, denied.
That's quick hands there for Lock Haven. Getting back, not causing a foul, and knocking it out of bounds. Great job of anticipation by Cordell Smith. Just didn't have the angle to get that uncontested layup. As I'm going to pause this now, Steve. I believe the Lock Haven women's team are getting pizza. I'm going to go get us a few slices, so
there you go.
Carry on. That happened to me at Saturday at Slippery Rock. They put about 12 pizzas behind me and took everything in my power, not just to say, let's play some commercial break.
Philip Alexander goes in, and he's going to be fouled. He'll go to the line.
Foul number 13, Marcus Jackson.
That foul's going to be on Marcus Jackson. That's his second foul of the night.
Big foul shot spot for Phil Alexander right now.
If you're Alexander, you need to make these shots fall. His first one does. That's 14 for the Vulcans.
Especially if nothing else, just to kind of get the confidence back on your side. And also, Lock Haven coming in here playing with house money. You're on the road, a long drive. You don't really expect. They're not the expected team, I would think, if you were handicapping this game to win. The longer they stay in front, the more confidence they get. So you got to kind of take some of that momentum back and get it in the pocket of Coach McBride and his team.
Lock Haven back on the attack. Reese Hunt puts a shot up, and that's good for two.
2 points.
And whatever California has, Lock Haven has an answer for it.
They're making some tough shots. I mean, ever since they made some adjustments on defense for Cal, they're getting in position. Just sometimes shots go.
There you have it, and that's a pass that is broken up and stolen away from Lock Haven right before a foul on Jameer Howes is called.
And that'll be Jameer Howes' second foul, team's fifth. So as we're going to the media timeout, Steve, 7:55. It's a 13-point deficit for California. And, last media timeout we were talking about just tightening up the defense. It seems they've done that. It's just Lock Haven has been making the shots.
And what have you been seeing? I've been seeing a lot of kind of forced passes from the Vulcans inside the paint. They either drive and put a wild shot up, or kind of just crack under pressure and throw a wild pass that ends up either falling out of bounds or being broken up by the Eagles.
Yeah, I think sometimes for California, this goes for a lot of teams. We saw it on Saturday as well. I think sometimes you're trying to get that extra pass. You're taught so much to find the open player. Get that extra pass. Extra pass usually means a basket. That sometimes, they're forcing that extra pass instead of taking it straight up. Sometimes you got to be a little selfish in there. I think, it just takes, I think what we're going to see if you're down 13, you need one player just to step up. And even if you don't say it out loud, with your actions, you got to put this team on your shoulder and get you through this first half. We saw it on Saturday for Slippery Rock, California, and Slippery Rock were tied. And California, I believe, had a 5 to 7 point lead going into the end of the first half. Slippery Rock had a bench guard player basically put the team on his shoulder, score 7 straight points, take the team to halftime tied up, and then they were able to use that momentum to extend. So like I said, if you're California, I think you just need one player just to kind of say, hey, I got this. Ride my coattails for a while. I got you. And cut into this lead. Yeah,
I agree. Someone has to take charge, and California takes that ball right away. I couldn't see who broke that play up. That's going to be Philip Alexander over to Isaiah Lewis. And Isaiah Lewis, just a silly mistake, catching that ball and just bouncing right over to his left, getting called for the walk.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go baseline. At the last second, he decided to go inside, and his body said, you're not going to dribble, and that's a turnover. That's a tough one because, as we said, possessions, neither team is going to shut the other team down, so you got to make the most of every offensive possession.
Exactly. Cerruti now over, fake shot. A 3-ball and no good. Rebounded by Tekel, and now there's going to be a foul called.
And they're going to get Robel on the defensive foul, I think.
And that's exactly what it's going to be. California's 6th foul so far. It's going to be Robel Tekel's first.
And I'm not sure I agree with that foul. Both players were going away. I think he just kind of extended the arm. The referee saw that, and that's what got you the foul.
And a 3 by Hunt, no good. Rebounded by Jay Tucker. Jay Tucker, a name that I haven't called in quite some time. Isaiah Lewis for 3, no good, off the rim and out. Rebounded by the Eagles.
Yeah, definitely the first time in a while we've seen Jay Tucker. Not sure why he's been out of the offense or out of the lineup for Cal, but he's a good piece. As there's the turnover right there, but he's a good post presence, and also he's second year in Cal, and he's also been in the conference for a while when he played at Bloomsburg. So
yeah, we'll see what he can do. Of course, we don't know everything of what goes on the bench. You never know what could be going on. But Jay Tucker, it does look like his left knee is taped up. That could be a reason why we haven't seen him some time. Robel Tekel for 3. No good. California can't get these shots to fall. They're getting good looks. They're getting fantastic looks, but they just can't get that ball to fall. Cerruti works that ball over. 3 by Hinton. Hinton, no good. Off the back iron, rebounded by Terry Davis Jr.
Yeah, they're definitely getting the good looks. I remember I was talking to Coach McBride last year, and we were talking, I think it was off air, that a corner 3 or top of the key 3 is a better percentage shot than a forced layup. So you keep taking those shots, they're going to go.
This ball's broken up by the Eagles. Barnes has nobody around him, puts a shot up, and that's good.
Barnes, 2 points.
Lock Haven now has 30. It's a 15-point game. Lewis drives. His shot is no good. That was a good look. He got past his defender, but just couldn't get that shot to fall. Barnes kicks it up to Cerruti. Cerruti, he kicks it out. Break. Thought he was going to drive in, decides to kick it out to Hinton, who drives and puts a layup in for 2. 32 for the Eagles.
Tell you what, Hinton is making an early case for Player of the Week on Monday because he is having himself an evening.
12 points so far. 15 minutes been played. Terry Davis Jr., nice move. Spins around, puts a shot up, and that's 2 for Terry Davis Jr.
That might be the basket that sparks California, as he's definitely capable of putting the team on his shoulder.
Hinton, jumper, long 2, in and out, rebounded by Jay Tucker, who had no one around him. Isaiah Lewis tosses it over to Philip Alexander. Tekel drives in, passes it out. Shot by Alexander, no good. Off the rim and out.
I think Alexander that time was too wide open. He kind of forced the shot thinking he had a defender bearing down on him. It just, he was wide open. I think we were closer to him than any defensive player.
That pass was inside. A foul was called. This one's going to be on number 14, Jay Tucker. That's his first of the night. Fateem Jackson will step to the line for the Eagles. His first shot is in and out, no good.
Luka checking back into the game for the Vulcans in place of Terry Davis, who's looks like he's walking okay. Had a little bit of a hitch in the giddy up there going off, but hopefully whatever took him out of the game earlier will not keep him sidelined.
And that ball was in and out, danced on the rim, and is finally rebounded by the Vulcans. That was a crazy one.
We've seen some crazy rolls this afternoon.
Philip Alexander crosses over, goes to his left. Tries to go inside to Jay Tucker, but that one was broken up by Lockhaven. It's going to go out of bounds for a California ball.
So I'm not sure if coming into this game we expected to see the fivesome of Alexander, Tucker, Tekel, Luka, and
I think you got all of them.
I think that's all. Yeah, I think I was counting more.
Tekel fakes a shot for three. Alexander goes back to Tekel. Tekel for three. No good. Tekel getting some good looks. Can't get those shots to fall. Hinton backs into Isaiah Lewis. Puts a shoulder down. Goes out to Cerruti. Break drives in. Goes over to Jesse McPherson. McPherson good for two.
Uncontested layup right there. Had three bodies there. Need to get a hand up in the face. Even if you just, like I said, get a little bit of token pressure on that.
Luka controls the ball at the point. Goes over to Tekel. Tekel at the far post. Isaiah Lewis with a hand in his face. You got to get a pick in there. Give Isaiah Lewis some room. Fires it over to Alexander. Alexander drives. Shots up. Almost a pass. Tekel now has a chance, but that one was broken up by the Eagles. Break, drives, easy layup, and that's good. He wanted a foul and one, but will settle for the two.
And I'm not sure if the camera work could see that, but that was a nice, he looked away, booked the defense off, and that's a great individual play right there.
Isaiah Lewis tries to do the same, but falls short on the layup. Amir Hinton drives in, tosses it out to Barnes. Barnes no good from three. Luka trying to get something started. Tosses it over to Tekel. Tekel hands it off to Alexander. Worked around to Lewis. Lewis finds Tucker. Tucker patiently waits, puts a shot up, fouled. Tucker will go to the line. Now, I like Tucker's patience on that one. He could have easily went up and got the shot blocked or what have you, but ended up waiting and then finally drawing the contact.
Yeah, and that's just experience for Jay Tucker. Like I said, he's in his second season here at Cal. Believe at least his third or fourth season at PSAC as he transferred from Bloomsburg. But that's a situation where you're right. He could have taken it right up and, frankly, probably been blocking the turnover, absorbed the contact, has a chance to make two, almost had a chance to get the N1, and 2:41, Steve, left to go in the first half. California trailing by 19. You gotta get this.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, you'd like to get this under 9, get a nice spurt, get Luka off on a couple screens, get some big threes. Said Tekel's been snake bitten today. He's had some wide open shots and just can't get him to go.
And that's the thing, Isaiah Lewis has had some great looks. He's really working to get some smart decisions, some smart drives. But it's just these shots aren't falling. Rebel Tekel has had multiple pristine opportunities to score. That ball's just not falling. And you know what? And that could change in the blink of an eye. That could change in a split second. California, they could come out of this timeout and just be hot. They could just fire off a couple three-pointers in a row. There you go. There you have it. It's a 10-point game at that point.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot different if they're not getting the looks.
Yeah.
But, as we mentioned, Lockhaven, they're not going to shut anybody down defensively. You just keep getting your looks, and hopefully in a 40-minute game, the luck that we've been having will switch to Lock Haven and things will even out, and it's going to start right here with these foul shots.
And this is definitely where it has to start out. Tucker needs these 2 points for the Vulcans. He readies his first shot. His first one is not good.
That's probably his first foul shot in over a month.
Because oh yeah. Besides practice, I'd be willing to put money on that. His second shot is good.
And I believe he's going to check out in place of Eric Green.
Still, yep.
Eric Green's coming in no matter what.
Yeah, whether Tucker likes it
He's
or
looking
not.
at someone to come off, but
Lock Haven will take control, slowing this one down. Now speeding back up is Break. That's ironic. Break is speeding things up. Jihad Barnes takes it at the point, goes to his left over to Hinton. Circles around to the far side over to Cerruti. Cerruti drives, takes on Eric Green, sneaks right past him, dishes it out to Hinton, who goes in for a layup and gets the 2 points.
I mean, that's good defense there. You had 2 bodies there, and you had a guy go up. It's just Hinton.
They just worked the ball around you.
14 points for Hinton.
That's not a quiet 14 points because we've been calling his name left and right.
Efficiency-wise, he might be a 1-to-1 ratio because he sat for a few minutes.
Alexander putting up 2 points that California needed, 18-point game. Cerruti drives, layup, that's good for 2.
Cerruti, 2 points.
Just sneaks right past Robo Tekel to lay that ball up.
And Cerruti now has 7.
20-point game, 40-20. Eric Green, he's going to drive. He puts a shot up, and that's going to fall for 2. Eric Green, maybe that's the motivation that California needed. Ball tossed out to Cerruti. Cerruti works it to his left, over to Hinton. Hinton goes through his legs, goes to his right, spins out, kicks it out to the perimeter. Cerruti at the point, goes over to Barnes. Back to Hinton. Hinton, he wants to shoot, under 10 to shoot. Thought about shooting right in the face of Lewis. Kicks it out to Barnes. Barnes for 3. Good. Nails it. He wasn't going to miss from there.
I tell you what, man. Hinton, smart ball player. Knew that California was expecting him to drive. Went off a screen and kicked it to the wide open as there's going to be a timeout or a foul. Foul, illegal screen on Eric Green.
Man, things cannot go into California's favor right now.
And Green and Alexander will sit down.
Ball's tossed into Break, who finds the open Hinton, who pauses things for a second, but finally gets them back going to Barnes. Hinton has Howes in front of him. This one's worked to the left over to Barnes. At the point is Hinton. I'm sorry, that's Break, who spins, puts a shot up, and no good. Rebounded by Robotekel. California can hold for the last shot. Cordell Smith with speed puts up a fancy shot, no good. Howes is there to get the rebound and the putback for 2 points.
I like that. Sometimes you say hold for the last shot, but you need points. Lock Haven hold for the last shot, but if you can stop them.
And Hinton drives right through for 2 points to answer California, and that will do it for the first half. California down, and boy, are they down right now, 45-24. After the break, we have some second half action right here on CUTV and PSAC Network.
Dylan, what's wrong, man?
I just don't know how my family back home in Buchanan, West Virginia can watch our stuff up here.
They can follow us on Twitter or they can like us on Facebook.
That's awesome. What about our sports? How can they watch that?
They could watch it live right on our YouTube channel.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And welcome back to the Convocation Center. I'm Stephen Ruffing, and alongside of me is still Gary Smith. California trails 45-24 going into the second half. And here we have the halftime stats. California 28% from the field. As we will get back to those stats, we're going to go back into the action. We'll take a look at those halftime stats maybe at the next media timeout, but California not playing up to par.
Yeah, we kind of got distracted by Shaggy from the Todd Hits of 2000, played by DJ Uncle Jimmy. Uncle Jimmy being James Carter, communications professor.
Terry Davis Jr., his first shot off the front of the rim and out.
But, Steve, it was, sorry about that, but it was not the best first half for California, down 21 points. Lock Haven really seemed to do no wrong in that first half.
Exactly. Everything was going right for them, and everything was going wrong for California. Lock Haven takes control at the point. Shots up and one for Hunt.
Just like we said, I mean, really, that was good defense, but shot goes up, shot goes in, and one.
Nothing really is going in the favor of California.
First 5 minutes of the second half is going to be key if California wants to get back into this game. You're down 20 now, maybe down. Now you're down 21. You got to get it to under 15 points, and then you can chip away in the final 15 minutes. But
I couldn't agree more. Now there's a whistle blown. Still trying to get into the swing of this second half. Roboteco inbounding right in front of the scorer's table.
And that whistle is because the shot clock didn't start. They ran off 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Well, it should have been more than that, but okay.
Isaiah Lewis takes control, knocks it over to Roboteco. Cordell Smith will drive, kicks it out to Lewis. Over to Roboteco. Teco up, and that's good for two. Roboteco getting some points on the board.
It's good to see him early on in the second half. He was snake-bitten in the first half, missing a lot of threes, had a lot of good looks, but nothing could go. But let's see if that deuce will get him in the swing of things.
Putting a shoulder down is McPherson. McPherson no good for two. I'm sorry, that was Reyes Hunt. And Cordell Smith will draw some contact. That one's going to be on number 20. Taraja Blake. Break.
That's 2 quick fouls against Lock Haven. So that's another thing to look at. California, if they can get in the bonus and score, get some points while the clock isn't moving, that's going to help their situation here in the second half.
Cordell Smith crosses over, goes to his right. Kicks it out to Isaiah Lewis. Isaiah Lewis goes to Terry Davis Jr. Terry Davis Jr. will drive, put his back end into his opponent, and he will drive for two.
There we go. That's what you need for California.
19-point game, 48-29. The Eagles still have the lead. Fake shot, that's Marquise Jackson. Jackson for two, off the side of the rim and out. Terry Davis Jr. now has it. He's driving. He's going to put a layup in for two. Terry Davis Jr. strutting his stuff.
And I was going to say, don't be surprised to see if California scores here. Lock Haven calls a timeout because California on a 6-0 run, get it to 17. And, if we want to take a look at those halftime stats and just see
You're way ahead of me.
The kind of hole that was dug in the first half.
Yep. Like I said, percentage from the field, 28 for California. Three-point percentage, 20%. And Lock Haven has that greater number, 54% from the field, 33.3% from the three-point line. And the free throw percent, of course, 66.7, 44 at Lock Haven. But the rebounds, 24 for Lock Haven, 18 for California. That's a huge number, actually, because Lock Haven is right now just dominating on those boards. Turnovers, 8 for California and 5 for Lock Haven. The steals, California has half the steals that Lock Haven has. Lock Haven has 6.
And that rebounding number is a little bit troubling based on the heels of Saturday. California out-rebounded by a wide margin by Slippery Rock, who had almost 60 rebounds in that game. I'm not sure what the final number of rebounds was, but I know at the last media timeout it was about 54. So, California has to do a better job on the board because some of those some of those rebounds are going to be offensive, and that's going to give the other team a chance for free points. But we'll see if this timeout for Lock Haven was a good use, because a 6-0 run, if you're Lock Haven, you're up 17, but, California's at home, and I think they can sense the desperation that this,
I agree.
Both of these teams, really, because Lock Haven's in a similar situation in the East, but if you're California, you don't want to let this one get by, especially with UPJ at home on Wednesday and then Saturday at Seton Hill.
Yeah, and slowly we'll be getting into the part of the game where California's just going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Lock Haven, and Lock Haven has to prepare for that because California can easily come back in this game. Hinton, he will drive. Ball's knocked out, and this will go, and this will stay with Lock Haven.
And they're going to get a foul against California. That's going to be
foul.
Cordell Smith, and you could hear Coach McBride up here as he thought that Cordell got all ball. I mean, granted, it would have been a turnover. And I think the other thing he's yelling about, that I'm not sure that Lock Haven player was in the act of shooting, but they're going to give him 2 shots.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought that ball was just knocked cleanly away. But Traje Break will go to the line. His first shot is up and good, 49-31.
And Cordell Smith, you can see on the edge of the screen, kind of trying to get an explanation about A, why the foul's called, and B, why it was called in the act of shooting.
Yep. Break's second shot is good. 50-burger for Lock Haven.
And that ends the 6-0 streak for California, so good use of a timeout for Lock Haven.
Yep. They can either make or break you. Cordell Smith drops back, goes to Howes. He's going to drive, spins around, layup, no good. Bounces off the side of the rim and out.
It's a tough take for Jameer Howes, but had a good look, didn't go.
Jihad Barnes kicks it over to Hinton. Hinton drives. Layup is good. Hinton still coming out firing.
How good is Hinton, man? He is lighting it up. 18 points. Not sure how many assists, but I know he's had a couple really nice dimes out there. He's a good ball player for Lock Haven.
All-around good player. Howes' shot, no good. Roboteco couldn't quite get his hands on that rebound. Lock Haven goes back the other way. Barnes and Marquise Jackson play a little game of catch. Under the hoop is Hinton. Hinton, his shot is no good. Something we are not familiar with. Cordell Smith, bounce pass to Terry Davis Jr. Terry Davis Jr. gets fouled in the process of going to the hoop.
And I tell you what, great take by Terry Davis Jr. Going hard to the rim, going to get 2 shots. But this is the first time you're seeing Lock Haven in a while. Lock Haven used to, when they were in the West, they never got these type of players. They used to be known for just big, plotting post players. I know a lot of that as the game has changed since they were in the PSAC West, and we saw them twice years. First foul shot is up and good, but since they're in the East now, they're able to recruit more out of Philadelphia. We saw on the roster X number of players from Philly, and that's, if you can recruit out there, there's a lot of good basketball talent in the Philadelphia metro area that, now that you're playing in the East, that you can kind of draw from. Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. It opens bigger pond to fish from, I guess. Bounce pass. Inside, Marquise Jackson works his way around Howes, puts a shot up, rebounded by Terry Davis Jr., who fought Roboteco for that ball. Davis drives in, but he's going to be tripped up as he went to the hoop.
And Coach McBride is asking to say that should be a shot or a foul in the act of shooting, because he was gliding to it, and I think
they're going to give it to him.
Wow.
Davis to the line, 2 shots.
And you know what? If you give Taraji Break that shooting foul earlier, letting him go to the line on that play where Cordell Smith just knocked the ball loose, I think Terry Davis Jr. has every right to be shooting too.
Yeah, I think that's one of those make-up/even out calls, because I don't think either one should have been in the act of shooting, but now that each team has got one, then I think both coaches can give the ref's ear a little bit of a reprieve.
And in and out again. We are very familiar with something like that happening. Jihad Barnes takes on Lewis. Ball's going to be worked around the perimeter. Under the hoop to Reyes Hunt. Hunt, hook shot, no good. Misses everything into the hands of Roboteco. It goes to Smith. Isaiah Lewis spins, shots up. Good for 2. Isaiah Lewis, he's eating up.
And there's athleticism by Isaiah Lewis we talked about in the first half. Sometimes he speeds up and makes quick mistake that time. Did a great job of letting the play come to him, and nice soft shot, and California's within 17. Don't look now.
Don't look now. Barnes drives into the paint, bounce pass out to Hinton. Hinton goes to his left. No shot. Where is there going to be a foul on the floor?
That's going to be against Terry Davis Jr.
That's his first, team's third.
It's going to be a shooting foul, and that's going to go into the media timeout. And California not looking too bad right now.
No. And also not looking bad is our sports information right now. If we want to look at the ways to get in touch with us.
And exactly so. If you want to keep up with everything that we do, our YouTube Sports and our YouTube News, CUTV Sports 1, CUTV News Center, our Facebook, California University Television, and our Twitter at CUTV_PA. If you want to interact with us any way at all, you can like us, share us, tweet us, retweet us, anything you want. Your feedback helps, and your interaction is welcome. And of course, the Sports Information Department, www.calvulcans.com. You see
Matt and his staff.
Matt and his crew.
That's Matt Kiefer on the right, one of the best SIDs in the country. Been here for almost a decade now. Been great to work with him. Right next to him is former Vulcans superstar point guard, national champion. Believe she was a grad assistant on that 04 team. Jenny Morrison, and then Alex King, Matt's grad assistant, who's been a great addition to the Cal U family, even though he's a former Mountaineer. We'll let that slide. Also, it's nice to have someone there that Dylan can talk to about West Virginia basketball and sports. So,
and do we really want that? Do we really?
Well, they may be number one in the country in basketball by next week. They're number 2.
I think they stumbled their way into that one. That's the only way you could say it. They should be writing thank you cards to schools like Duke and Villanova.
As both me and Steve turn our phones off, because we're sure Dylan, if he's watching this, will be texting us ASAP.
Isaiah Lewis, his shot's up, but the block comes in a little too late. I believe that one's going to be called.
It's going to be a goaltending, so 2 more for Cal.
2 more for Cal.
And this is what you needed coming out of the second half. You know, you're not getting into this league in bunches, but you're slowing it down. You're cutting into it, and you're giving yourself a fighter's chance.
And that one's trying to work under the hoop, but California comes away with it. Those turnovers are key. California, if they keep forcing those, they could do some damage. Shots up, no good. Howes with the rebound. His shot is up, no good, but there is going to be a foul. It looks like Howes is going to be going to the line.
And I think Shamir Howes was in between slamming that down and an easy layup, and the body and the brain did 2 different things. Missed a layup, but has a chance to get 2 right here. 2 more.
Howes goes through his routine. His first shot is in and out, no good.
That's a good-looking shot by Jameer Howes, though. But again, at this point, if you can go 1 for 2 and just keep cutting into that lead, what you don't want is a possession right now, chance to get 2 and get none. There you go, at least get 1.
Howes' second shot is good. 52-38. Lock Haven still has that lead. Hunt works that ball over to Barnes. Barnes at the point finds Cerruti. Cerruti back out to Barnes. Into the hands of Hinton. Hinton has Alexander in his face, goes to his left, drop backs, goes back over to his left, finds Cerruti. Cerruti circles around, drives through the baseline, bounce pass over to Barnes. Barnes with a wild shot at the shot clock, no good, and that's California. They are just strangling this Lock Haven offense, forcing them to do those wild shots. A 3 for Jameer Howes, and just like that, that all came off that defensive stand from California.
And you can see it in the background of the shot. That got the bench up. And I tell you what, that does 2 things. It gets California's bench in there, and you better believe Lock Haven's bench knows that they had a 20-point lead not too long ago.
And Lock Haven looks defeated as they give the ball away once again. Cordell Smith bounce pass to Lewis. Lewis, his shot's up. Cordell Smith is there. How's there now? My goodness, that took more tries than it needed to be.
And Steve,
52-43.
9-point game. The Vulcans coming back.
And boy, are they ever. Lockhaven, they look disgruntled. A wild shot. Foul is called on the Vulcans.
And I tell you what, sometimes that's a momentum shot because early in the game, you better believe that ball would have went in an N1 situation now. You know, California has the momentum on their sides. Would not surprise me if this is only one of these foul shots is made, if not
both.
Or 0 for 2 the way the momentum's going.
And there it is.
Like I said, sometimes you see it in basketball. Momentum is such a huge part of sports. You know, we're at 13:32 left in the game, probably with 17 minutes. Kyle's down 18.
Second shot is good. And you said it, one of the 2 shots fell. Cordell Smith working with Isaiah Lewis. Cordell Smith thought about shooting, decided against it. Robel Tekel for 3. Oh boy, would have that been nice.
That's one you need. Robel was wide open. He had a great look and just didn't go.
And Cerruti just drives right through California's defense with ease for 2. Cordell Smith for 3. No good, just short off the front of the rim and out. Barnes driving down the court, puts a shot up, a desperation shot, no good. Foul will be called.
And I tell you what, I think California doing the right thing, pushing the tempo, but I don't think they really need to force the 3 right now. The Robel Tekel 3-point attempt, that was wide open. That's a good shot. I think Cordell kind of rushed it a little bit. I mean, you don't need to be heaving and believing right now. You're down 12. Just, take it to the rack. If it's not there, get your shot. And
yeah, I completely agree with you. Cordell Smith, everyone knew he was going to shoot. So fake that shot, make that man miss, and maybe you have a cleaner opportunity.
Though, from experience, Cordell is one of the players that you really want coming down and rushing a 3, as we saw last year at Seton Hill, as he won that game on a buzzer beater with one of the all-time great shot blockers, hands in his face, put it over, and
that has been his spot ever since then. If he can get open in that corner at any given point in the game, he will nail it, as both foul shots were made by the Eagles. And what's the call here?
Offensive foul. They're going to get Eric Green moving screen.
Eric Green, if he wants any more minutes in this game, he has to limit those fouls.
Unfortunately, with his size and moving screens, not that hard for the referees to pick out. I mean, he's a solidly built ball player.
Cerruti, a wild pass out of bounds. Can't hit his target. California will take over. That's an unforced turnover by the Eagles.
And honestly, that foul on Eric Green a few seconds ago wasn't the worst foul in the world. That's one of those fouls. I bet you any money the Lockhaven coaching staff has been saying, hey, watch the moving screen, and that's
Finally,
the one they call.
Yep. Robel Tekel thought about shooting, decides not to, goes to Lewis. Lewis, no good from beyond the arc. Terry Davis Jr. gets it. His shot's up. Drew a little bit of contact, but that wasn't enough to hold him back from scoring 2 points.
California doing a better job in the second half of cleaning the glass, too, on both ends of the court.
Floater, no good, and there's going to be a charge. Boy, is that a momentum boost if I've ever seen one.
And give credit, there were 2 Vulcans holding their ground. I know it was Isaiah Lewis. I think it was Lewis and Tekel built a little treehouse fort in the paint right there. Got the foul, and that's, both teams with 16 fouls. So we're going to be seeing some foul shots here down the stretch. As you know, what crowd there is here starting to feel the momentum coming on the side of the team in white and red.
California will inbound this one. Lewis will take control.
And the first time we've seen Luka Andrusik here in the second half, I believe.
Yeah, Luka checking in for the first time in the second half, at least.
And we know what he's in there for.
3-pointers, baby. Terry Davis Jr. works his way under the net. There he is, Luka for 3. The Serbian sharpshooter nails it. Nothing but net.
I have to call that the Serbian splashdown, as that was pure. That net just flipped up, and that's a momentum changer. 11 or 9-point game now.
Man, Luka from his point. Hinton, just like that, puts up a shot. Good for 2.
Hinton, 22 points. 22 points in 29 minutes. That's
unbelievable.
That's impressive efficiency right there.
Great performance, Terry Davis Jr. with a man in his face. Gives the ball over to Isaiah Lewis. Isaiah Lewis has a man under. That's Howes. Howes for 2. 9-point game. California scratching and clawing. They're not going anywhere, folks.
And that's become Jameer House's calling card, that little reverse layup underneath. He can do it from either side.
Shot blocked. California comes away with it. Tripped up was Alexander, and there will be a foul called.
Loose ball foul against Lock Haven. Don't look now.
Nope.
And we've seen California's, that's going to be the media timeout. We've seen California in close game after close game, on Wednesday night here. Gannon, they had a chance. Excuse me, it wasn't Gannon, it was the night before. They had a chance down the stretch. So, they haven't been out of games. Just need to finish it off. And this would be a great growth game for the Vulcans if they can come back. Even if they don't come back and win it, if you can get it within a possession, that's going to be a teaching point going into the rest of the week for Coach McBride and his staff.
After the first half, California came into the second half down 45-24. That is a 21-point lead that Lock Haven had. Look at the score now, 59-50.
And it really hasn't been, they haven't really changed that much. Just they've been getting the shots to fall. They have picked it up a little bit on defense, getting into the positions and doing a lot better job of closing out those layup lanes that Lock Haven kind of exploited. If you look at the score sheet for Lock Haven, Hinton, if you take him out of the game, it's an entirely different ballgame. If he doesn't play, that's 22 points, and he's by far and away the team leader. After that, next on the score sheet is 9. So, they're doing a good job against everyone against Hinton. And I tell you what, I'm not sure anybody out there in the conference tonight. He's just having a special kind of a night. So
it's just he's hot. He has the hot hand. But look at California's numbers: 12 for Howes, 11 for Terry Davis Jr., 10 for Isaiah Lewis. Everyone is chipping in.
Some foul shots now for the Vulcans.
California is in the bonus. That's why you see Philip Alexander at the line.
Tell you what, these refs are really waiting for that second buzzer. Sometimes you don't see it, and these refs are making sure that the Convo Center buzzer is working order. As the first shot is good.
First shot is good. 8-point game now, 59-51. Lock Haven still has that lead.
In contrast to Saturday, when I was sitting at the scores table and the ref was looking for another horn, and the scorer said no, and he said, okay, whatever.
All right. Another
Saturday afternoon. 7-point game now.
7-point game. You would have never thought this was going to happen coming out of that first half. Amir Hinton goes to his left. He has Taraji break. Now Cerruti. Cerruti drives down the baseline. Bounce pass inside to Hinton. Hinton, his shot's up, no good. And that's going to be a blocking foul on California. Two men down, including Hinton. Hinton and Howes, both slow to get up.
And I tell you what, I think Howes had 1 foot outside of the arc and 1 foot on the restricted arc, or else I think that would have been another offensive charge there. There's a little bit, I think one size shoe smaller, that would have been a charge. But Hinton doing what he needed to do, forcing contact, and we'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Hinton shaken up after going down. We'll see. His first one is good.
23 for Hinton.
A heck of a night for this young man. His second shot up and good. He's not going to miss those two. Isaiah Lewis takes control for the Vulcans. At that far elbow. He's going to go to his left. Slowly work this ball to Luka. Luka, his shot is good. My goodness, Luka. Another 3 for the Serbian.
I think Andjusic is Serbian for pure, because that's what that shot was. He came off that screen, and there was no doubt when it left his fingers that ball was down.
Get the ball to Luka Andjusic. He is hot right now. McPherson works his way to break, fakes his shot, goes to his left. Hinton now at the point, fakes right, goes left, crosses over, drives, his shot is up and good. Boy, that guy's hot.
Hey, there's just no stopping him. That was good defense that time, puts up a tough shot, and sometimes that happens.
Isaiah Lewis over to Luka. Luka for 3. Luka fouled. He'll go to the line for 3 shots. And boy, if he would have hit that shot, I think the California bench would have just erupted.
And I tell you what, he did not miss that by much, but he's going to have a chance to go to the line for 3.
3 shots.
And big 3 shots for Luka.
Luka at the line. First shot is good.
You know, some players just have that rotation off their fingers where
Yeah.
you know, they get to the RPMs and you always feel like it's going in. He's definitely one of those players.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. He's been working on his shot for years, and his second one is good. 6-point game now, could be 5, pending this next foul shot.
In his 3rd season after transferring from South Alabama.
And
Gets the shooter's roll.
There it is. That rim likes Luka Andjusic. Ball worked over to Cerruti. Cerruti is facing the eyes of Luka.
Steve, don't look now. 5-point game.
Oh, I know. And here's going to be a stoppage. The refs will blow a whistle, and this one's going to be
Also number 1, Jameer House.
on number 1, Jameer House. That's Jameer House's 4th foul. That is enough to bring Robo Tackle back into the game.
Yeah, you did not want to see that. Jameer House was starting to heat up. He had 12 points. Now will probably sit for a few minutes, at least to the 5-minute mark, I would think, being with 4 fouls and 9 minutes left to go.
Yep. First foul shot for Hinton is good. He'll have a chance at another. And that's a guy you can't send to the foul line.
Yeah, is there a doubt that he's at least going to get 1 or 2 every time he's up?
Yeah.
That's 27 points. .28.
And there it is. And you know what, Gary? Just looking at these stats, Hinton, he went 0 for 3 in the first half from the foul line.
Would never have guessed it. I mean, that is...
Oh, I know. Left corner, Luka Andjusic has it. He's going to drive, tosses it out to Alexander Lewis for 3, just short off the rim, off the backboard, and out.
Got to play defense now. Had a good look, didn't go. You got to toughen up, play defense here.
You can't let Hinton walk all over you. And what do we have here? Cerruti stepped out of bounds, and this ball is going to go right back to the Vulcans.
Well, I think the ref almost dropped his whistle. He could have called out of bounds, travel, double dribble. I mean, he could have picked anything.
And he decided to go with out of bounds. Terry Davis Jr. works it over to Lewis. Luka wanted it. Roboteco for 3. Good! Finally, Roboteco is good from 3 after multiple attempts.
And I tell you what, you'll take his slow first half. If you hit him down the stretch right now, if you're California, 4-point game.
Ball's worked under the hoop, and there's going to be a charge. Roboteco setting his feet, falling back, giving California some motivation, and the ball right back. He's getting up slow, though, but it was all worth it.
And I tell you what, you couldn't see it on our monitor, but I happened to look up when that call was made. Coach McBride turned his whole team. They were up off the bench, and he yelled, "Let's go, boys, let's go." I mean, that team is fired up, and I tell you what, you got to love the fire that's on that sideline right now.
If you take a look at this Vulcans team from the first half, they're 2 different teams on the bench and on the court. There was heads hanging down, heads hanging low on the bench, and there was no motivation on the court. That is a completely different story right now. Roboteco works it over to Alexander. Alexander goes to his left, finds Luka. Isaiah Lewis drives, floater, good for 2. Gary Smith, 2-point game.
This is fun, baby. This is fun.
Lockhaven drives in the baseline, shots up, no good. Luka gets the rebound.
Can you believe California has a chance to tie or take the lead right now? Chance to tie. Luka will go to the line to shoot 2 as California is in the double bonus. And Steve, this team has come down from 21 points down in 13 minutes.
Unbelievable. Gary Smith, let's just break down what we've just been seeing. California getting all the momentum in the world with some hustle points, some grit, some just absolutely fantastic basketball that we did not see from California in the first half.
Well, I mean, on the defensive end, they've tightened it up enough. You know, it's a combination, like we mentioned before, basketball has so much momentum involved.
Yep.
You know, once California started making that run, Lockhaven, you can see, kind of tightened up a little bit, and California fed off of that, closing out the passing lanes, getting on the boards. you know, what can you say about Luka coming off the bench, draining some big three-pointers? Robel Tekel draining a big three-pointer. Yep. You know, you got a couple players unselfishly taking charges to get those fouls. And now, like you said, you have a chance, if you're California, being down 21 points to start this second half, to have erased that entire deficit in 12 minutes and 8 seconds.
Unbelievable. It's just crazy. And you know what another in California is doing? Defense. Their defense showed up, I think, in the second half. They're forcing some turnovers. They're pressuring these guys. Of course, Hinton is going to find his way around the best defense in the conference in a game like this. He's just been hot. You know, if a guy's hot, he's hot. But California, other than that, they're pressing hard. They're playing some good, hard-nosed defense, and they've been shutting down Lock Haven so far in the second half.
And the crazy thing is, it seems like all the games we've done, there's been one player for the other team that has just shot lights out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
isn't that the truth?
On Saturday was Till had 20 and 20, I think.
Yep.
Game before that, you had a guy score 35 points. I mean, it's just they're there. Luka's first shot in and out.
He will want that one back.
And I tell you what, that's a little bit unlucky. I think that might have been caused by the media time out there.
Yep.
Got out of rhythm.
An unintended icing of Luka Andrusnik, but his second one is good. 1 point game. Wow.
Yeah, I think seeing Luka as much as we've seen him, I think if he's able to go straight to that line without the media timeout, it's a tie game. But regardless, California within one. Bench is up.
Cerruti drives in, puts a shot up. Nice shot. A windmill layup puts 2 points on the board.
And again, defense was there, just got a tough shot up over some outstretched hands.
Terry Davis Jr. has man in his face. Works his way down the baseline, shots up good. Terry Davis Jr. working to get those 2 points on the board. Yet again, another 1 point game.
And I'm glad to see that. I was afraid California might go down and try and force a three. I mean, there's 7 minutes left. Just take the points. Terry Davis is a guy. You got a lot of guys that can get to the rim and finish for this Vulcan team.
Hinton spins around, jumps up, puts up a shot.
Talk about finishing.
Yeah. But yeah, just like you said, now California, they're comfortable. 7 minutes left. They'll drive. You know, they're not going to force these threes. They made up their ground.
Yeah, you're in the game.
Back. Yeah,
you're in the
back.
game.
Ooh. Hinton, his first shot is no good.
And there's a little bit of nerves. We've been saying, I won't even say nerves, but definitely Lock Haven is now aware of the situation. You know, both benches know what has transpired in the second half. That 21 points is evaporated. Now California, no matter what happens with that, has a chance to go down and tie or take the lead on this possession. And how big would that be in this atmosphere if they tie or take the lead?
That would be the first lead for California this whole game. And we only have about 7 minutes left in the second half. Oh, Alexander, he's going to be called for an offensive foul. He just threw that forearm shiver into the opponent.
Yeah, coach is very animated on the sideline, but I think that was the right call. Alexander there were two players there. I think the one player shouldn't have been called, but the second player, Alexander, definitely stiff-armed him. Now I got to play defense.
This ball is worked over to Hinton, who has the hot hand, almost 30 points. Kicks that ball out to Barnes. Barnes back over to Hinton, but that one's going to be broken up and intercepted by Robel Tekel. California just slowing this one down.
Well, that almost took Robel Tekel's head off. Thank goodness he got his hands up. That was a steamy no-look pass.
Luka fires it over to Alexander. Alexander for two. Oh, he had a chance to tie it up, but no good. Lock Haven gets the rebound. California needs another big defensive stand. Hinton fakes his shot. He has Luka to beat. Decides to reset and go back to Barnes at the point.
Well, that's an interesting matchup. Luka on Hinton.
Hinton. And is there going to be a charge? Yes, there is. Luka doing it all on offense, on defense, drawing that charge, and this one will go right back to the Vulcans.
And I think that was, I don't want to say a makeup call, but that was an evening out call because Luka was not set, but I think the arm came up for sure. And, you know, if you're going to call that one against California on the other end, you got to call that. I tell you what, you hate to say it, but the officials have been doing a great job.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. They've been very consistent.
Luka tries to force the ball inside. Hinton is there to break it up. He has Terry Davis Jr. in front of him. Kicks it out to Cerruti. Cerruti for three. No good. California gets the rebound. That's Isaiah Lewis. He had a man. He had Alexander, but he decides to keep it himself. The whistle will blow. And boy, if he would have just put his head up a little sooner, he had Alexander in stride, making his way towards the hoop, but Lewis will go to the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Lewis, when he got that loose ball, I don't know if he got his head up, like you said, quick enough. He had to kind of, not fumble around, but I don't think he caught the dribble as clean as he would like, because if he gets it on the first dribble, that's an easy look for a point guard. First shot is up.
Ooh, off the back iron and out. He is clearly not happy about that one.
Got to go 1 to 2 at least.
And he does.
1 point game.
Timeout called, and Gary, let's just take this time to step back and take a breather, because there has been some fantastic basketball play.
Yeah, if you would have came up here and talked to us at the halftime, I don't think any one of us would have believed that. You always want to believe you can come back. I think we all believe,
but
California.
21
points. I don't think we thought that was insurmountable, but the fact that they did it in about 12 and a half minutes, erase that deficit now 5 minutes, I think best case scenario, you were thinking 21 down, you may chip away and give yourself a chance under a minute. But they're in this game. They've had a couple possessions in the last 2 minutes to either tie or take the lead. Haven't been able to do it yet, but you got to like the fact that, defensively they've tightened up a little bit, and, they're getting the looks on offense. So if you're watching this at home on the PSAC network, you're in for a treat in the final 5:26. Not just because me and Steve are talking to you.
This is going to be a good one all the way to the end. It's almost a different game of basketball that was played in the first half and this half.
Oh, it's an entirely different game.
Hinton steps back. Almost had a man. He does. Under the net. No good. That's a shot you need to make if you're Log Haven. California now has a chance to either tie it up or take the lead. No, actually, they have a chance to take a lead. Terry Davis Jr., his shot is up and good.
First lead of the night for the California Vulcans. Have outscored Lock Haven by 23 points here in the second half.
Unbelievable. Lock Haven now, they are the ones that need to wash themselves.
22 points. Not a math major.
Cerruti fakes his shot, has Luka to beat, goes over to Barnes. Alexander guarding Hinton. Shots up, no good, and I think that was a desperation shot. Luka telling his guys to slow it down, calm down, we got this.
And just look at the difference of benches. California's bench is up and engaged in this game. Lock Haven's bench looks like they just swallowed some Brussels sprouts.
Some spinach. Terry Davis Jr. shots up, no good. He could have drawn a foul there, but I think he was looking for the contact. Hinton, he's going to take this in, and there's going to be a whistle blown.
That's number 5, Terry Davis Jr. That's his second.
Yeah, they're going to Terry Davis Jr. on the hand check, and they've been calling that all night. And other thing you talked about is, California has done this with Jameer Howes on the bench with those 4 fouls. Be interesting when coach says, hey, go back in. We're at 4 minutes left to go, because when he comes off the bench, that's a big piece to get back for California.
Oh, no doubt. Tie ball game, 69-69. Hinton with that foul shot. Hinton's second shot is good. Lock Haven takes back that lead, 70-69.
Now this is a possession game.
Cordell Smith at the elbow, floats it into Tekel. Tekel is fouled, and there's going to be a charge called. A blocking foul called on Cerruti.
I'll tell you what, Tekel hit the ground hard.
Yeah, he did.
That's the second time we've seen him hit that support. He's getting up a little slow, but that'll be the last media timeout. But that was a call that could have went either way, and for the Vulcans, situation where you're going to have Robel Tekel. Second situation in the media timeout where I think of momentum, the media timeout kind of squashes the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely slows this game down for sure. Anything could happen now because California, you saw it with the Luka foul shots. They can come back into this game. Robo Tekel, I want to say inconsistent from the foul line, not one of the best foul shooters on the Vulcans team. Coming out, basically being iced by this media timeout. He could easily make both shots, or he could miss both of them.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's probably, I don't have the notes in front of me, he's probably about a 67% foul shooter. And, Luka coming into this game is probably closer to 90, and he goes 1 to 2. So, but 1 to 2 gets you a tie game, and like you said, there's a chance he could go 2 to 2 right here. I mean, this is going to be an exciting final 3:47 of the game. Lock Haven's bench, like you said, looks like they just ate spinach. Their heads are down. California, Coach McBride has been, every time there's been a big play, has been looking to his charges and, keeping them pumped up. And, it's been a great coaching job. Whatever he said to them at halftime, he'd like to bottle and use it the rest of the year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably some constructive criticism in the locker room. I'm sure whatever he said sunk in. Robo Tekel, his first shot is good.
Tie ball game.
Yet again. Has a chance to take back that lead for the Vulcans. And he does. 71-70 Cal.
I saw Coach on the, I don't know if you saw on the screen, but he went down and said something to Jameer House. I'm not sure if that's, hey, get ready, you're going back in, or, let's see how this plays out. Big miss there for Lock Haven.
And Lock Haven all over the place. California almost came up with that. Cerruti fakes a shot. He's going to drive. Bounce pass over to Barnes. Barnes for 3. Oh, he missed. Rebounded by California. Robo Tekel comes away with it.
What an impact Tekel's had in this second half. He hit a couple big shots, but, he's just been playing solid basketball on the other end.
Isaiah Lewis float. No good off the back iron and rebounded by Lock Haven. Fires it over. Alexander gets it. Keeps it in bounds. Lewis drives. No good. Rebounded by Lock Haven. Boy, this game is back and forth.
And I think for Cal, you may want to back that out and run some clock and get a better look.
Floater up. Terry Davis Jr. gets the rebound. Behind the back, makes a nice move to get around his man. His floater's up and no good. What's the call?
They're staying down there. I think it's going to be against Lock Haven. I think we're going to be shooting foul shots.
Wow. That's 2 calls now that kind of went into California's favor when it could have went both ways.
And that was a look. The officials going over to talk to Lock Haven's coaching staff. I think Lock Haven actually wanted a travel more so than a charge there. I mean, he easily could have called one of the 2, but thank goodness, if you're a Cal fan, that was a blocking foul.
Terry Davis Jr. enhances this lead, 72-70, the largest California lead of this game.
Yeah, helping us announcers out when you're down 21, you get up 2, it makes it sound like we're keeping track, but this has been a heck of a comeback for the Vulcans.
Davis's second shot is good, 3-point lead.
Win or lose, you got to be impressed with this second half.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Barnes. Now this is the time where you kind of want to slow things down, honestly, if you're California, but Lock Haven, they need to throw everything at California to get back in it. Hinton drives, no good, but there is going to be a foul called.
Well, I think everyone in this gym knows that Lock Haven is going to be going at number 22, 31 points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a foul against Alexander. That's his second. Team fouls don't matter. Both teams are in the double bonus from here until eternity today.
Hinton's first shot is good. Back to a 2-point lead for the Vulcans.
And Jameer Howes is back in the game. I didn't see him check in. He checked in for Robo Tekel. So with 4 fouls on there, you got a guy that is a post presence.
Hinton's second shot is good. 1-point lead for the Vulcans now.
Not only that, Jameer is a finisher on offense too. So guy that will take it up strong if need be.
And you got to worry if Hinton is going to drive at Howes. Lewis, great way to kick that ball to Davis, but no good from 3. Rebounded by the Vulcans. Howes, there he is. No good. Tipped in for 2. That's how you don't give up on a ball.
Terry Davis is going to get credit for that tip, but both him and Howes were clawing for it, and that is a big basket for Cal.
A quiet 19 points for Terry Davis Jr. Cerruti drives. His shot is up and good.
Cerruti, 2 points.
That's a gritty take by Cerruti there.
And you know what? I said a quiet 2 points by Terry Davis Jr. Do you know why I think it was a quiet 2 points? I think because Terry Davis Jr. got a majority of his points in the first half. And at that point, California, boy, were they down.
Yeah, he definitely was carrying the team in the first half. In the second half in this comeback, he hasn't been the catalyst. But, boy, if he didn't do what he did in the first half, then we're not even in this point right now. But 1:47 left to go. And if you're California, Steve, do you run clock here knowing that Lock Havens can score, or do you just try and go up and down and try and outlast them?
You're at 1:47 left on the clock. If I'm California, I'm running some clock down. But you got to be sure you put some points on the board, because at this point, you don't want to run too much clock down. Take a good chunk off and then try to get some points out of it, because Lock Haven, they have every chance of going right back down and scoring some points.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to get a Luka and get a foul on, get Luka to the line as good as a foul shooter as he is.
Lewis tries to go over to Luka, and that's going to hit off the hand of the unaware Barnes. Luka readying to inbound this ball. He does. He goes to Lewis. Lewis and Alexander play a game of pitch and catch. Lewis ends up with the ball. He's facing Cerruti. Goes to his right. Beats Cerruti. Puts a shot up. No good. And that's a shot. His desperate shot almost goes in. But Lock Haven will come away with the rebound. Cerruti. He wants to shoot. He faked twice. Goes over to Break puts a floater up. 2 points. They take back the lead. 76-75.
Break only has 8 points. We're going to get a timeout, but those are his biggest 2 of the night with 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go. I think everybody in this building thought Hinton was going to get that look, and I think Lock Haven used that to advantage, kind of looking off Hinton. Break was able to get that floater in, and California was unable to convert on the other end, because that was a great look, a great floater that they had. It just didn't go, and like I said, they were in that situation up 1. You can't really run too much clock. Got to leave yourself some time. You got to run your offense. I mean,
this one is going to come down to the wire, I'll tell you that much.
And foul shot, like I said, if you're California, got to do whatever you can, get a good look down here. If you make it, then you play defense. If not, like I said, you got to identify who on Lock Haven you want to foul. Although with minute 2, you don't necessarily have to foul if you don't score on this possession right away, because Lock Haven won't be able to run the clock out. I think you play defense at that point, but definitely some things you got to think about as this game gets in its waning minute and a half. It's been a treat to watch this game. This has been an impressive second half.
Yeah, I mean, win or lose for the Vulcans, you can't say anything bad about the second half. They have been in command. As we're getting ready to get back into the action, Luka will have a chance to inbound this ball right next to Media Row, which there is only Lock Haven's radio down there.
Very empty Media Row.
Terry Davis Jr. goes over to Alexander, who goes to House. Lewis drives, puts a shot up. Good. California takes back the lead.
Great take.
Absolutely a great take. 1 point lead for the Vulcans. Under a minute, about 40 seconds left. Hinton drives. His layup is good. Just a finger roll, getting the 2 points. California, though, about a 5 seconds difference from the play clock. More like an 8-second difference from play clock and the shot clock. Howes drives. He needs to score on this one. Puts a shot up. Fouled and one. Oh,
travel. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, was I excited there. He got called for the travel. That would have been huge for the Vulcans. 25.7 seconds left.
And you're going to see, looks like
Jordan Gessner.
He's in there to foul. Got to identify who you're going to foul right now. Although it wouldn't surprise me if California tries to play defense to the half-court mark, because even if 10-second call would get them to 15 seconds, so don't think you have to foul right away unless you get your matchup. That's what they're going to do.
And they will foul.
I know, out of bounds.
Wow.
Luka first to turnover.
Wow, unbelievable. They were pressing him close to that sideline. Oh my goodness. Luka was playing some hard-nosed defense, thinking that Gessner was going to foul. Luka comes in, plays some defense. Just before he fouled, Hinton stepped out of bounds, and I tell you what, California got lucky.
Well, I tell you what, I think one ref had his whistle out to call the foul, and the ref that called the out of bounds beat him to the whistle because, like you said, Luka was closing him off, but Gessner was coming from behind, willing to give the foul up. That's why he was there. He's there because he had no fouls, and I believe they identified someone a foul. But now, if you're California 20.9, I would be willing to bet, with the shot clock off, you're going to just say, hey, let's hold for the last shot and don't. Unless you get a wide open, a backdoor cut where you're going to get a jam or an easy layup, I think you kind of just say, hey, let's take the last shot and let the chips fall where they may.
And we'll see what Lock Haven does to play defense, I swear. I've been on the call for way too many games like these. I am just shaving off years of my life doing these games.
They're going to hold for the last shot, it looks like.
He's going to drive. He puts up a shot, no good. And there's going to be a foul. And I'll tell you, I don't know what Lewis was thinking on that one.
Yeah, that was a forced shot, and that's going to knock Howes out of the game.
I'm trying to wrap my head around why Lewis, with 9 seconds left on the clock, if you're going to do that, just wait till the last second.
Now they're going to have to force a three more than likely to tie because Hinton puts them up 2. And I'm not sure where the foul was. It must have been away from the ball because that rebound was a long one and got out there.
Yeah.
They must have grabbed someone, and luckily
Almost
for
immediately,
luckily California got called for intentional, or that would have ended it. But let's strap in here. 7 minutes or 7 seconds.
Second shot is good. California needs a 3 to tie it. Isaiah Lewis drives. Terry Davis Jr. fakes his shot, and he's going to be fouled.
Steve, I don't believe he's going to go to the line to shoot 3 with 0.9 seconds.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And I don't know about you, from where we're sitting, that ball looked pure. It just didn't have the muscle.
A little bit more on it. Wow, my goodness. Holy cow, Terry Davis Jr.
Now the question is,
1.8 seconds left.
2 shots. They're saying 2 shots.
Really? That's surprising because he looked way out there. His first is good.
So you got to miss this intentionally, or no, they're saying 3. They're saying 3.
I was going to say, he was way out. He was standing right about where the ref is right now. His second is good, boy.
Ooh.
Gary, my heart is beating out of my chest right now, and I can't even imagine how Davis is feeling right now. His third shot is good. Wow.
1.9. Will Lock Haven, they're going to call timeout.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
How do you feel about some free basketball potentially on a Monday?
It wasn't what I was intending, but boy, I'll strap in for it. Wow.
And talk about ice in the veins of Terry Davis Jr. 3 clutch foul shots, 80 to 80.
Wow.
Now, you don't, if you're California, you don't want to touch anybody unless this is...
let them heave the ball up. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what. I'd imagine they will send a Hail Mary down the court. I don't know. Unless you just send it to half court, maybe take a dribble or 2 and then launch it up.
Well, we've seen this before, and I don't know if they'll do it here, but you can pass it along the baseline. We've seen that a lot in the past where you inbound it and pass it and kind of catch the other team napping. I don't know if that's a play here the way the baskets are. So you might see, I would assume California is going to guard the inbound play and at least try and affect the vision of who's inbounding the ball. But I think if you're Lock Haven, you just kind of try and get off a screen and heave something. And like I said, if you're California, you do not want to touch anybody unless it's a last-ditch effort. It looks like Alexander is going to guard. And remember, he can run the baseline. This was after a made basket.
We'll see what happens. 1.8. He will run the baseline. Fires it down. Hinton was open. He steps out of bounds. My goodness.
.2. California.
I think they're going to give him maybe a little bit more time. I'd imagine
there was
they're
1.8.
Yeah, there was.
You got to almost give him almost close to a second.
Yeah.
That's what they're talking about now, because I don't think legally with .2 you can get anything more than a tip.
Right.
And they're not going to adjust it.
They're going to the scorer's table. I think they have to give him at least .8. I think is when he stepped out of .4. Wow, that surprises me. Really, it does.
Well, but now that allows you, I believe, with .4, that's the least you can catch and shoot. So it doesn't have to be a tip. You can get somebody off a screen and get it off without it being a pure tip. So either way, it's got to be quick.
It says 0 on our scoreboard, but there is .4. And Luka launches it up. No good. We are going to give you some free basketball. And Gary, do you want to keep it here, or do you want to go to a break before overtime?
Send it to a commercial break, because I got to change some graphics.
There we go. And overtime is coming up. California has 80. Lock Haven has 80. Stick with us here on CUTV and the PSAC network.
Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference.
Oh, what a play!
18 universities.
How competitive is this?
23 championships.
It's over. We have new PSAC champs.
7,100 student athletes. Make the PSAC yours.
My PSAC is passion.
My PSAC is pride.
PSAC is Pennsylvania.
Passion, pride, Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference.
And welcome back into the Convocation Center. This one is going to overtime. California comes back from a tremendous 21-point deficit and ties this game to force it into overtime. A lot happened in those last little parts of the fourth quarter, but here we are, 80-80.
And the word for today is guts.
That is 100% true. Terry Davis Jr. drives. His shot is good. The first lead of this overtime period. Terry Davis Jr.
24 points for Terry Davis. We've seen a great afternoon for him. Evening. Keep saying afternoon.
Hinton almost loses the ball to Luka. Shots up, and that's good.
That's a broken play right there. California had to defend it and then just doesn't catch it cleanly, and wide open little baby floater.
Luka and Jusic crossover. He's going to drive. He goes in, kicks it out to Lewis. Or I'm sorry, that's Alexander. Misses everything down to Terry Davis Jr. right where he needs to be. Puts the ball in for two. Was that a pass or was that a shot?
I think he's going to say that was a pass.
I agree. Dribbling around. Shots up. No good. Every possession counts, and that one's going to go off of California.
Great defense that time by California.
Lock Haven will inbound this ball. Like I said, every possession matters. And Lock Haven's going to have a fresh new shot clock. Hinton at the point. Drives in. Puts a shot up. And he's going to be fouled and one. I swear that kid, he makes everything.
I tell you what, Philip Alexander looked like he got all leather on that shot, but
somehow it still went in, though.
39 points.
Unbelievable. His one and only shot is good. He completes the old-fashioned three-point play.
And you know, there's some guy playing PSAC fantasy basketball that has him on the bench today.
Is there someone doing that? Alexander, he drops it off to Robel Tekel. Tekel hands it off to Terry Davis Jr., who has the hot hand for the Vulcans. Crosses over, almost loses it. Drives his way in, puts a shot up. Could have drawn some contact on that one. No foul called. Cerruti comes away with it, and Hinton will take over.
They're going to run some clock now, trying to set up the offense.
Lock Haven on the attack. Shots up, and no good. Rebound for Lock Haven. Again, no good. Rebounded by Terry Davis Jr. Every possession counts, Gary. Remember that. Lewis drops it off to Alexander. Has Robel Tekel. Waiting for Terry Davis Jr. to slowly make his way back down to the court. Lewis drops it back to Tekel. Tekel fakes a shot for two. That's good. A long two. Robel Tekel comes in the clutch.
And I tell you what, I like that decision by Robel Tekel. He could have forced up a three. Nice little pump fake, collected himself, got himself to a good shooting spot inside the elbow, and drains and gives California a 1-point lead.
And that's exactly what you want from Tekel. Hinton drops back towards the elbow. He has 40 points tonight. He goes to his right, facing off Luka. Break, drives, his shot's up, and one. Boy, I'll tell you, those fouls are killing you.
And I tell you what, Break, you know, he's had 10 points, that's his 10th points, but it seems like every time he makes a basket, it is in a key moment. Right now, Lock Haven has a chance if he makes this to go up 2 with 2:12 left to go in the extra stanza.
And you know what, Gary? I don't want to sound like a homer when I say this, but that last sequence on the Vulcans end before Robel Tekel's shot, that scrum underneath the hoop, when Terry Davis Jr. put a shot up, there was a lot of contact on that.
I thought that as well. I mean, he's gone up, and that's something they have called. As that shot is missed, that's big, but that's something that's been called consistently. It's a ball.
Yep. Jump ball. And this will be...
That's Lock Haven's ball.
Wow.
And who's underneath that Hinton coming in with the fast hands? That looked like an easy rebound for Cal. Refs are going to confer, and they are going to say it's a jump ball situation.
Hinton everywhere so far on the court.
40 points in one jump ball, and that could be big if they hit a three here and make it a 4-point game. That is a huge force by Hinton.
Hinton has the ball right outside the arc. He's going to circle around, restart. Really trying to drain some clock right now. He has under 20 to shoot. Backs up into Philip Alexander. He goes over to Cerruti. Cerruti drives, has Luka to beat, puts a shot up, no good. Tipped away, Robel Tekel comes away with the ball.
That's a big defensive rebound for California.
Luka Andjusic dances his way past the half-court line. Fakes left, goes right, looking all around. Terry Davis Jr. gets a floater, up and a blocking foul, and one. Wow.
And I tell you what, if you look at the Lock Haven bench, they won a charge, but I tell you what, Lock Haven player was probably about right in the dead center of that restricted area.
Yep.
No matter what happens, they're not going to get that call. So that gives Terry Davis a chance to give Cal a 2-point lead. And don't forget, about 6 minutes ago, he made three
in a row to tie it up. Wow. And give him credit for finishing off that play and getting points on the board when he put that shot up, as well as drawing that contact.
28 points for Terry Davis.
Wow. And 29. His shot is good. 29 points for Mr. Terry Davis Jr. Under a minute 30 left in this overtime period. Break hands that ball over to Hinton. Now at the point was Hunt. Hunt hands it back over to Break. Break crosses over. Hunt draws contact, shots up, no good, off the front of the rim, and there's going to be a jump ball.
And that's California ball, and I tell you what, that's a good no call by the officials to let them play, because I think Robel Tekel tried to buy a little bit of a call, and I think the Lock Haven player tried to buy a little bit of a foul right there, so I think it's a good no call. California benefits from the alternating possession with 1:07, a 2-point lead, and I think you're going to see California, if they don't take this whole shot clock down, at least take it down to 10 before they make a move. Up 2.
And you definitely want to get some points out of this possession. You do not want to waste any possession in overtime.
Yeah, if you get a good look and you can get a 2-point basket before, I mean, you've really got to like your chances.
And a 3 ball, good! My goodness! Lewis, out of nowhere, nails a 3.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
And the referees are conferring.
I don't know what they have to confer about.
Well, the score is backwards on the board. They'll change that.
Oh, yeah.
With 44.4, it should be California, I believe.
It should be 92 to 87.
92-87, 5-point game.
I don't know where they're getting. Oh, they gave 3 to the Eagles.
Yeah, so it should be 92-87, 44 seconds. But Lockhaven was walking back like they thought there should have been a foul or something there.
I don't know, but Lewis just heaves that ball up out of nowhere.
And there's no way they can check if there was a shot clock violation. I didn't hear a horn, and I believe he got that off with 5 or 6 seconds on the shot clock. So the Lockhaven coach isn't really protesting too much, but now they put 0.2 of a second back on. 92.
There it is, 92, and now they need to take the points away from the Eagles. But now, thankfully, Lewis made that shot, and I think I could openly say this. What was he thinking on that shot?
Yeah, that was as contested as a 3-point shot in overtime as you're going to see take and still be on the court, because if that doesn't go in, Coach
is not happy.
Coach may run out there and drag him off, but regardless, if it goes in.
Yep. Thank you. Hinton drives, dunks. A little motivation.
3-point game.
And there's a foul. 92 to 89. 3-point game. California will go to the foul line.
And Lewis will have a chance. 4-2 right now in the double bonus.
Lewis at the line, 2 shots.
And that only took 6 seconds off the clock, so 42 points now for Hinton.
Lewis, his first shot. Oh, you need those points.
If he makes this, you're still up 4.
Lewis, his second shot is good.
Now Lockhaven down 4 doesn't need to even believe a 3. They can kind of go for 2 and extend the game if they want to.
Hinton loses the ball. And what's the call? That foul is going to be on number 12, Philip Alexander. You know what? If Philip Alexander kind of lays off, I think Hinton loses that ball on his own.
Yeah, that ball definitely was ping-ponging around the old wickets there, and Alexander doing what you're taught, going after it. And in that situation, any contact's normally going to be called on the defensive player, but you can't fault him for that effort.
Nope. Hinton's first shot is good. And there's 32.9 seconds. I'm controlling the time on our end. There's 5 seconds, it says on the scoreboard. I got caught up in the game and let that clock run. I'll keep you up to date with what the time is. I do apologize about that.
Again, we're short-staffed and doing 9 different things, but full court
during
press
a
now.
game like this. Terry Davis Jr. is going to guard that ball. 31.9 seconds left. California is going to the line. And boy, are they going to drag these 30 seconds out.
Yeah, with one way to get it to go quickly is if California can take advantage of it. I think if you're California, you want to try and get the hands in Davis or Luka, of course. Those, I think, are your 2 best clutch foul shooters. And Lockhaven, of course, knows that and is going to try and deny it. And Cordell's out there now, too. So you really actually have 5 good foul shooters out there. That's a good luxury to have. Now Cordell sits down, and I believe that's going to be a defensive substitution with Phil Alexander.
Yep. Get some hustle points out there. 94-91, 31.9 seconds left. Terry Davis Jr., his second shot is no good. It's still a 3-point game. Hinton. 3. good. Wow. Are you kidding me?
And I tell you what, it's a shame we don't have replay. His foot, I believe, was on the line.
I completely agree. Terry Davis Jr. now, he can hold for the last shot.
Man, that's tough. He stepped back because there's going to be a timeout.
Yep.
And I really think, and again, don't want to be a homer on this one, but just the angle we're at right in front of us, it looked like his foot might have been between the two three-point arcs, the one for the women's and one for the men's. And Coach is asking about that, I think.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there's no replay here today.
That's just unbelievable.
But take that away. That's a clutch shot by Hinton. 47 points now. California, second time we've seen it, has a chance to take the last shot with 13.8.
Yep.
Last time they took one with 9 seconds.
Yeah.
What do you do now, Coach Ruffing?
It's tough. You need to work that ball inside, because you work that ball inside, you have a chance to draw some contact. And if you drive, Lock Haven, they know this. They're not gonna make any attempt to draw any contact. They're gonna be scared. So just run that ball down their throat, and you either get the 2 points or possibly draw a foul.
And I've seen this in the past in situations like this where the team on defense will almost try and goad the offensive team into like an easy layup situation.
And then come back down
and have
for the
like
last
7
shot.
or 8 seconds. Yeah, so we'll have to see which way Lock Haven plays it. I think if you're California, Coach McBride's saying do not put a shot up before 4 seconds, because with 4 seconds, you have a chance at the ball ping-ponging around to get an offensive rebound, but also minimizes the chance on the other end of a full court shot beating you. So we'll see what we know. We're 100 feet away.
And Luka goes all the way down on the opposite end. 10 seconds left. Under 10 now. Lewis has the ball from far out. He's going to hold a three. Good! My goodness gracious! Isaiah Lewis had no business making that shot, and he does. California up 97-94, 2.7 seconds left. Lock Haven puts up a shot, no good. California gets the win. My goodness.
What a game, Steve. What a game.
Absolutely speechless. Isaiah Lewis, party hard all night. You deserve it. Are you kidding me? There's going to be a party on the Mon tonight. Holy moly.
I don't think there was one person in this arena that thought he was going to put up a three-pointer from there.
I'm just absolutely stunned. I'll tell you what, Gary, this is a From the Vault in the making, because this has been one of the best games I've ever watched, besides that first half, but that just adds to the story.
Yeah, this is one of those games, we talked about it in the whole first half and beginning. This is a huge game for the California Vulcans. You have a chance, like I said, this is not a divisional game. This is a conference game. This counts in your conference record.
Yep.
You're in that 7th spot coming into this game, and you have a chance after this week, if you can go 2-1 or even 3-0 now, to get yourself out of that 7th spot and maybe around 5th or 4th and set up your second 2/3 of your season right now. And talk about the grit and the guts that team had out there.
Unbelievable. Both teams finishing strong. California somehow sneaks away with that win after being down 21 coming into the second half. Thank you to Isaiah Lewis, and thank you to Gary Smith, my only crew member alongside myself.
It's going to be a quick picture.
Yes, it is. A wild one we had. Isaiah Lewis finishes it off in the last 2 seconds with a blessing and a prayer of a three-pointer. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Until next time, thank you for watching on CUTV and the PSAC Network.